The following program is video supplemental instruction. VSI is brought to you by the Teaching Center, UF's Learning Support Center, www.teachingcenter.ufl.edu.
So for number 14, we have unpolarized light incident on a stack of two polarizers. The emerging light has 30% of its original intensity. What is the angle between the transmission axes? So remember that this equation, I equals I naught cosine squared theta, is the original intensity, the angle difference between two different polarizers, and the transmission intensity. So what we need to figure out here is the angle, so we need to know I and I naught. So here's the part you need to keep in mind. The emerging light has 30% of its original intensity, but the amount of light that hit that second polarizer, so think about it here in the stack, you had one polarizer and then another. Here's I1. Out here is 30% of I1. A regular unpolarized light just going through any polarizer automatically cuts it in half. So this is actually 50% of I1. So when you're using this equation and we're talking about the second polarizer, the incident on the second polarizer was actually already 50%. Its transmission was then only 30%, so we can find the angle difference between those two. So I over I naught, you can just pretend, since we're dealing with percentages anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just assume this was 100. So this would be 50 and this would be 30. So our transmission is 30 and its incident on that was 50. That has to equal, I over I naught, has to equal cosine squared of the angle difference between those two polarizers. So we get 0.6 equals cosine squared theta. So to solve for theta there, just remember that you have to take the square root first, then do the arc cosine, and when you do that, in this case, you're going to get a degree measure, I did it on the calculator a second ago, of 39.2, that they're all rounded here to two decimals, or to two just significant figures, so the angle is just 39 degrees, which is answer choice 1.
The Teaching Center, UF's Learning Support Center, www.teachingcenter.ufl.edu.